Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Rosemary Levesque, and we are doing a special call today, the first out of 3 in the series for the pet guides, the pet health guide. How do I want to say it? Pet health. We're talking about pet health. And um, our first topic in the series, and I wrote a blog about this, about loving your pets. The first one in the series is going to be about toxicity. And of course, we are not making any medical claims. We're not going to object to veterinary care, but we're going to help raise awareness about what's going on with our pets. And I want to tell you, I've had so much interest in this topic. People want to know how to have healthier pets, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and you've been hanging around me for a while, so you know this. You know that this is near and dear to my heart. I know it's near and dear to yours as well. Before we begin, would anybody like to express any concerns or questions? And then I'll do a short presentation, a kind of a blast from the past. What would you like to know about first? What are you concerned about with pet health regarding toxicity or regarding health issues that you are seeing? Hi, Irina, we're recording here. Anybody have any questions, or do you want me to just kind of jump right into it?
Here. What's the best cat food?
What's the best cat food?
Yeah.
Meat. Just meat.
Yeah, well, and now you have to be careful because it's lab grown.
Uh-huh. Well, pet food is not the topic for tonight, but I know that it's on your mind. It's on everybody's mind.
Only
And-
because it leads to ill health. That was all.
Of course. Well, just like eating processed foods every day, every meal of your life is going to lead to ill health for us
Right.
as well. So why would we want our dogs and cats to follow in that kind of footstep? No, 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 no. We don't want to do that. But nutrition and immune support will be a topic for another call. Today, it's about toxicity and what you're noticing for symptoms, for health concerns. What is it that you're wondering about? You can just say a word. Are you wondering about anything? No?
Toxins.
We know
Toxins.
we know everything. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, see you later.
No.
See you later. All right.
Elimination.
All right. So
Hey.
here's what I'm going to do. I dug into my files, and you're going to love this. I found this. Let me show you. I'm going to share my screen. All right. I don't remember the name of this dog, but this was the dog of a client of mine. Isn't that a beautiful picture? She loved taking pictures of her animals. She sent me lots of pictures, and I wish I could thank her because I love this, a dog sitting among the lavender. Wouldn't you want to bury your face in that dog's fur?
Oh yeah, and the lavender.
Let's see if I can.
Beautiful.
Okay, take a look. Oh, no, go back. All right. That's me on stage in 2014.
Wow.
What was I doing? I was talking at a pet convention. The sponsored by PetSmart. It was the Pet and Companion Fair. And you bet I got on stage because I've been talking about this for a long time. Yes, make comparisons. Don't I look like a kid there? The thing is that the topic has not changed. The concerns have not changed. And we keep talking about this, raising awareness about animal health, our pets' health, all of the things that we are doing, everything the vet tells us to do, everything that is available to us in the stores or what we're learning on our own. The topic has not changed. People love their pets and they want them to live a long and healthy life. they're family. And we want to make sure everybody knows about this. And I think awareness is increasing, don't you? Don't you think people are getting a little better about this?
Mhm.
Okay. So so in the upper left, that's a picture from the same person who sent me the retriever in the lavender. And I can't remember who the middle one is, but the other in the boat, that's my dog Ginger with my son rowing. And those are a couple of my cockatiels. The yellow one, Lucy, lived to be 23 years old. And Sydney also lived a long time. They were both very well loved. And both of them got our products as
Mm.
much as we could. Yes, absolutely. All of them. So what are some of the health issues our animals face today?
Mm.
And by the way, these are clients of mine. You know, I'm sharing pictures. It's not so surprising to see that our pets are facing many of the issues that we also face, to name a few: allergies, cancer, reactions to vaccines, joint issues, obesity, diabetes. Any of these look familiar for people?
Oh, yeah.
And pets
Mhm.
too. You know, there's an allergy clinic down the street from me, allergies for pets.
Oh, my God.
Oh, sure. It's a huge clinic. And um, and there are specialists, vets who specialize in oncology and joint issues and I don't know if they're specializing in obesity. I think that a lot of veterinary offices carry prescription pet foods. Oh, your pet is obese, let's get them on a low-calorie diet. And I unfortunately have personal experience with diabetes. Ginger was insulin dependent, and it was kind of a shock to her system when she was 6 years old. She became insulin dependent because of pancreatitis, because her immune system being challenged, and something just tipped her over the edge. It was a nightmare, nightmare. But these are things people have too. Now, this picture comes from the Environmental Working Group, Protect Your Pet's Health, Pets for the Environment. Has anybody here heard of the Environmental Working Group?
Yeah.
I have, yeah.
ewg.org. There it is, right there. And these images I grabbed off their website.
Wow.
They are from, I don't know, 15 years ago or so. And the statistics back in let me see, back in 2014 were that let's see, how many people in the United States have pets? Back in 2014, it was 63% of the households had pets. Now it's 66% of the households have pets. Everybody has pets. You know, more than 50% of the people have pets in their home. And look at these statistics from the Environmental Working Group. With cats, 40% of the chemicals are up to 5 times the levels in people. Where did that come from? And in dogs, 20% of the chemicals are greater than 5 times the levels in people, and 20% of the chemicals are up to 5 times the level in people. So our pets are toxic. We are having proof of that. And in fact, they are even more toxic than we are. And that information is old.
Wow.
Do you think it might be more than 20% now?
Oh, yeah.
It might be. It might be. Yep.
Hmm.
And this is also from the Environmental Working Group. Here are some of the chemicals that they have on their website that they talk about in dogs: Teflon chemicals,
Wow.
PFCs. In dogs, 89.9, so about 90% in dogs, where in people it's about 38%. Again, old information. Could this have changed? Yes. I predict that it's not much better.
Hmm.
Maybe either the same or worse. That's my prediction. I don't have the current statistics.
And
But
what
the-
year was this?
Pardon me?
What year was this?
It's the year they wrote the article. It's somewhere around 2014, I
Okay.
believe.
Okay.
Yeah. Fire retardants. Where do these cats get fire retardants? Are we spraying them with fire retardants?
Furniture.
Furniture. Oh my gosh. Furniture has fire retardants.
Wow.
What about mercury? Where are cats getting mercury?
Fish,
Cat food.
fish.
Same place we are. Where
Yeah.
do we get mercury? Air, water, vaccinations.
Tin can.
From cans, we're getting bismuth and tin.
Hmm.
And probably if the can is lined with plastic, you're getting BPAs also.
Wow.
You ever see cans lined with plastic, like diced tomatoes are lined with plastic?
Huh.
That's getting plastic into your body. The acid is in contact with the plastic, and the plastic is leaching into your diced tomatoes, which you are then putting into your sauce.
Hmm.
Okay, the truth. This is again from the Environmental Working Group. They're an incredible website. They wrote an article in 2008, I believe, 2007, 2008, the body burden, pollution in newborns. This is something you can look up and read. It is free to read. And they tested the umbilical cord blood of newborn babies and found more than 250 toxins in their blood.
Wow.
Mhm. Yeah, it says more than 200, but it was more than
Hmm.
250. And 100% of our babies, nobody is toxin free.
Hmm.
So our animals, are they toxin free?
Nope.
No. And so we dump chemicals into our water, we pump toxins into the air, and there's a convenience in the food that we have. We inundate our foods with pesticides, and we have a lot of a sedentary lifestyle with no physical activity. This is a recipe for disaster. I promise this is not a very long presentation, but I wanted to just talk about some background with the toxins. What are they? We all live downstream. Everybody, 100% of the people and animals live downstream. We are getting these toxins, but we don't have to stay polluted. And this is really where we're going today. We want to know what these toxins are, and we can research this. We can absolutely research it. For example, where does benzene come from? Any idea? Benzene? About car exhaust.
No.
Car exhaust. And you know, when I was a kid, I had a chemistry kit. Of course I did. Science kit. Benzene was in my kit.
Wow.
It smelled like cherries. I'll never forget it. It smelled like cherries. I loved the smell of benzene.
Wow.
Guess what I did all the time?
Sniffed
I
it.
smelled it
Yep.
all the time because it smelled like cherries.
Hmm.
Unbelievable what they put into kids' toys. All right. So in our Pet Lover's Guide to Health and Wellness, and I can give you some cool stuff on that. But we want to talk about how to remove toxins. We want to talk about a healthy diet. Diet's not for today. Immune system is not for today. But these are the three things we're going to focus on. And we want, of course, to have vitality and youth. That's what we're hoping for. So we've got to talk about removing the toxins. You got to remove them from your home with household cleaners, pesticides, fertilizers, herbicides, smoke, air fresheners, airborne contaminants, plastic containers, toys, and packaging. I saw something on their website today, on the EWG website. They said that this year you'll probably eat the equivalent of 12 plastic bags.
Mm.
Wow.
And we're not talking heavy metals, we're talking plastics. So this is kind of a modern day, what's happening today is the toxins are showing up as plastics, along with the heavy metals, which haven't disappeared.
Rosemary,
Yes.
I read something the other day that you buy a plastic water bottle.
Yep.
I'm sorry, a glass water bottle because you think you're getting away from it. No, the plastic is embedded in the lid of that glass water bottle. It's lined with plastic.
We're kind of toast, aren't we?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay, be clean on the outside. Of course, we're going to try to avoid. This is one of the biggest things that most people have access to avoid toxins.
Hmm.
Be clean on the outside. Watch out which chemicals you're using. Don't apply insecticides directly to the skin, and those exist. Put some drops behind the neck and on the tail, flea treatments.
Mm.
Ah, no, don't do it. Very poisonous. Um, and of course, we want to get the toxins out. Most people do not know about our cell defender, the solution to your body's pollution.
I have a question, Rosemary.
Yes, Marilyn.
On one of the slides that went, one of the first slides, there was, I think the word was dioxins. So my question, what's a toxin? What's a dioxin? Or is,
Toxins or toxics are anything that are poisonous to the body.
Huh.
Anything that's poisonous to the body is considered a toxin.
okay. And what was the other word?
So there are many, many kinds of toxins. There are furans and dioxins and PFAs and PFCs. There are many, many, many kinds of toxins. And to go over that, I have a chart, but you can certainly look up dioxins. I forget where all of them are, but I used to know all of that, and
Yeah.
they do exist online. You can look it up and say, oh, there are dioxins in this. Right? I mean, they're everywhere. Yes. Yeah, thanks for asking. There are many kinds of toxins, and dioxins are some of them.
Okay.
So you should know this story. When lava and ash mix with seawater, it makes a beautiful crystal. And in nature, it's called zeolite, or clinoptilolite is the kind of zeolite we are using. And detoxolite removes toxins. So there are 12 key health benefits here where if we were to do this, if we were to be able to take this detoxolite, this clean micronized zeolite into our body, we would be able to remove heavy metals, plus the other poisons, pesticides, and so forth. We can reduce viral load and the absorption of nitrosamines. Nitrosamines are, the nitrites and nitrates that you get in deli meat, preservatives, and flavorings in foods, those are going to create the nitrosamines. The zeolite, the detoxolite removes residual radiation. Are we exposed to radiation at all? You
Oh, yeah.
betcha. You betcha. Most of it coming from Japan right now, and has been for years and years, coming from Fukushima, from where the nuclear disaster was. They have not completely capped that. It is still flowing all around the world in the groundwater, here in the Pacific Northwest, and everywhere. It's such a big list. We love what our detoxolite does. And I just wanted to finish up quickly because I want to hear from you also. Where balance is the key, we want to balance and restore the cell's defense, balancing the pH, bad cells, and there's a picture. Out of my old files, by the way, become, the bad cells go away and we get healthy cells. And it even balances serotonin, which is part of your mood. It helps regulate your mood. But even the smallest quantities of mercury, even the tiniest bit, causes damage to nerve cells. Causes damage in the tiniest bit.
Wow.
Go ahead and watch the how mercury causes brain neuron degeneration. That's on YouTube. You can find it, and you can watch how nerves get all tangled up when they lose their myelin sheath around them. I think that was it. So with that, my language really has not changed since I started in 2006. It hasn't changed. When did you start to think like this? When did you start to be concerned about toxicity? Let's talk about it just a little bit.
When I heard about Avini, it
Tell
didn't
me
occur to
more.
me.
Tell me
It just-
more.
It just didn't occur to me. And I have a quick story. Several years ago, Christmas, my grandsons were, I don't know, 6, 7, whatever. They're quite older now. Anyway, and I'm talking to my son, well, what can I get him for Christmas? I was thinking of getting him pajamas. He said, okay, Mom, but make sure they're fire retardant.
Oh.
And I did. I mean, because I don't want my kids to burn up. I mean, when you were talking about that, I thought, oh, they're alive and well, I will tell you. Thank you very much. But that just reminded me, they were pushing that. This is every good conscientious parent would want fire retardant for their children, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Fortunately, yeah, I hear you, Marilyn, and it's really up to the parents. It's up to the parents of the children and up to the parents of the animals. Everything is their choice. And we can't grab them by the shoulders and shake. That's not our job. That's not what we're supposed to do, but we can inform, we can help educate, and we can say, have you considered this? And we know now with flame retardants, fire retardants, it's also on airplane seats.
Mm-hmm.
Do you travel? When you're sitting in a seat on the airplane, you're getting flame retardants. There's another interesting article in National Geographic called, excuse me, I think it's called The Pollution Within.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's, I'll look it up, but ask me for it if you want. National Geographic did some articles about pollution and disease. And the guy who wrote the article really wanted to test the system. And so they were expensive, very expensive testing, blood tests, right? They're finding these chemicals in the blood. And so he said, well, I'm going to eat fish every day for a while. I'm going to take lots of trips. I'm going to be on the airplanes. Anyway, they're testing his blood and they're saying, don't do that, because they're finding very high elevated levels of mercury and other chemicals in his blood. And he's writing the article about it.
Wow.
Wow, right? It's a really interesting article on National Geographic for, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago. Yeah.
My first
What are you noticing for everybody who is using Cell Defender? What are you noticing with your animals? Have you seen anything happen? Or for yourself, if you'd like to share.
for myself, I already shared it with you, Rosemary, but my ring finger on my right hand, 30 plus years in the factory, and you'd get the circuit breakers and you'd have to clean them, and it's barehanded. It would eat through rubber gloves, Band-Aids, takes the nail polish off. And the MSDS sheet said, xylene, it's a cancer causer. So 3 years ago, I started Cell Defender and I was doing 10 drops. Rosemary said, why are you only doing 10? So I doubled it. And now recently, in the last 6 months or a year, I've been doing, whenever I walk by, pour them in my mouth, right? I used to do it just in water. Anyway, every time my husband likes this Dawn Power Wash. He doesn't do the dishes, but it cuts grease. So I'm doing the dishes, and every time this poor finger is just creased and swelled a bit, and oh, just so sore. It hurts so bad. And what did I say? 3 years later now, it's gone. And I still use the dish soap and stuff, but it's not like that anymore. It took
Mhm.
3 years to get 3 years worth of stuff out of me.
Well, that speaks to the very long-lasting power of poison in the body.
Hmm.
It
Mm.
takes a long time for the body to work its natural filter system. But a lot of these toxins, like lead wants to go hide in the bones.
Yep.
It takes a long time for lead to get out of the bones. A lot of the poisons we come into contact with, especially the volatile organic compounds, the plastics and so forth, those want to hide in the liver and fat and brain and breast. So the body, when it cannot get rid of toxins, it will hide in certain places. Now, on a pet, on a dog, have you ever seen a dog with fatty lumps?
Uh-huh.
That's where the dog is, in their metabolic system, that's where the toxins are hiding. If you see a dog with lots of fatty lumps, you might talk to the person about their diet, about toxic exposure. And what's happening is this is the dog's defense mechanism. They're stuffing toxins into fatty tissue and it's showing up as lumps. What do veterinary solutions provide? They might say, well, they're not doing any harm. Don't worry about it. If it's not growing, if it's not interfering with anything, not choking them off, not interfering with leg movement and so forth, they kind of leave it alone. And the truth is, it really is much better to talk preventatively to people about toxicity because we would really like every puppy to be on Cell Defender. We want our animals to be protected and not have to face consequences. So we're looking at, two different sides of the story here. Do we work with prevention and say, well, let's be proactive? I think animal lovers are proactive in the way that they know. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Most people love their animals and they will look for the right food, the best food they can afford, the best food they know how to give. They want to keep their pets healthy and will go get all the vaccinations. This is what we did with Ginger. We got all the vaccinations, we did all the flea treatments, we did the heartworm stuff, we did everything because it was supposed to be good. So I'm not faulting anybody on their choices. I'm just saying it's time to be aware. It is time to have an awareness and have a choice that you don't have to do all that stuff because that might be too much, especially for a little dog. Little dogs get, and Lita, you can probably speak to this, the vaccinations given to big dogs, that's an error.
It's
Do
the
they get
same as a
same
little
amount?
dog,
Yep.
They give the same amount,
Same-
the same quantity
same
to a
dosage.
little dog.
Yeah.
Is it
And,
too
and
much?
yeah, it's too much.
Yeah.
I think it's just too much, period. But that's my opinion on vaccinations. In Utah, I do vaccinate with rabies because if I want my dog to be treated at a veterinary clinic, she has to be vaccinated. This is Utah. I haven't found a holistic doctor. A lot of them aren't taking any more patients, and that's what's difficult right now. But I have Cell Defender. So I up it. I mean, she's on maintenance, but I up it if I know she has to be vaccinated for rabies, which is another 2 years. I will definitely, I'll up the dose of Cell Defender, then the day of her vaccination, and then the day after.
Mhm.
Mhm. And
Yeah.
that's a good
Mhm.
practice. If you are using Cell Defender proactively when you know about something,
Yeah.
that's a very good practice. What about the things you don't know about? Do you know everything your dog walks through?
I don't want to know, but it's,
It's on their paws,
but
right?
yeah, yeah.
Are they running through a soccer field, or are they out on a
Mhm.
walk with you and walking through a place where your neighbor just sprayed Roundup? You know, do they do that?
Mhm.
I saw a neighbor some years ago, their yard guy was out there. He was spraying Roundup, not just on the property, but also in the cracks of the sidewalk.
Uh-oh.
Did I say something to him? You bet I did. I said, why are you spraying that where people walk their animals? Because they're getting it. And there are so many people who are involved in the spraying of these chemicals who have either a blind eye to it or haven't learned.
Right.
I did talk to a landscape maintenance guy at a park one time. I said, what are you spraying? Oh, it's just glyphosate, he said. That's Roundup, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just glyphosate. It sounded, he sounded important, like he knew the chemical name. Well, I knew the chemical name too. I didn't think it was a good idea. Kids, dogs running around, they're spraying. Kind of criminal in my opinion. But this is the world that we live in right now. And as you saw in the presentation that I had, even from years ago, our animals are much more toxic than we are. 5 times more, 10 times more toxic than we are. And so we have to learn. It's our responsibility, right? And
Yeah.
I downloaded something from the environmental working group years ago, Eddie's Healthy Pet Tips. And so it's old, but on here is choose pet food without chemical preservatives. Use a faucet monitored or pitcher filter. I think we can do better than that. Replace older foam pet bedding. Why? What's coming out of the foam?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's off-gassing. Yeah.
Mm.
Vacuum often with a HEPA filter vacuum. Why? Because you're getting everything off the furniture and the carpet, and you've got to make sure it's not going back into your air. If you suspect your deck was made with arsenic treated wood, seal it. Rick, our biochemist, says that arsenic treated decks, wood decks, are the biggest contributor to arsenic poisoning in pets.
Wow.
Don't get optional stain-proof treatments on your furniture. Avoid nonstick pans. That's kind of a no-brainer, right? They're making ceramic coated ones now. I hope they're better. Care for your lawn without using insecticides. Use kitty litter made of plant sources, because they say clay-based kitty litter is strip mined, causing extreme environmental damage during extraction. But I would also say that they recommend some recycled newspaper, but newspaper off gases
Yeah.
ink. That's not good either.
Yeah. It's toxic too, the ink.
In fact, thinking of the litter, we used to buy litter from the pet store for the bottom of our bird cage.
Mm.
Then they changed the brand.
Mm.
It looked the same, but they changed the brand. And right after that, Lucy got sick. Lucy,
Wow.
that yellow bird in my picture, she got sick. And we suspected that. So we got rid of that. We were just using paper towels, but I think the damage was done already. So even that, you have to be careful. Breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Get biodegradable, compostable poop bags. And not only are flea collars generally ineffective, they're also a source of constant toxic exposure for your pet and your family. Instead, vacuum often and thoroughly, bathe your pet regularly, ask your vet or local pet store about safer flea treatments and repellents. And I would go one step further. An animal with a healthy immune system is not likely to attract fleas.
Right.
They have a strong immune system. Fleas don't like them. Try a mild baby shampoo. I don't agree with that. Intended for human use. You know, I would say that some of the human baby shampoos are just as toxic. I think we can do better. And however, the Environmental Working Group does have a database called Skin Deep. When you go there, look for the Skin Deep database. They have hundreds, maybe thousands by now, of products that have been evaluated based on their ingredients for toxicity. And did you know, it says 63% of all households in the US have pets, up that to 66% as I updated you today. And we can spread the word. Yeah. Who wants to share an animal story? Carol, do you want to share what's going on with Finley or what you've noticed in your family with pets?
Sure, I would love to. So we found out about Avini or Rick's zeolite 5 years ago when Rosemary asked me how we were doing, and I said our dogs are slowing down. They're 8 years old now, and they don't act like puppies anymore. And so she told me about the zeolite, and I trusted her, and I didn't know what zeolite was, and I didn't really care, but if it works, we'll try it. And sure enough, in 2 months, they were acting like puppies again. And now Finley is 14, and he just went through a bout of the same thing Ginger did. And oops, you might want to have to go out. And he has responded by upping his Avini, and he's gained weight. He has energy. He is strong as an ox now. He's stronger than he's ever been. And it's just amazing, the
14.
transformation that we've seen.
At 14, he's stronger than he's ever been.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Woohoo. Yay.
He still has skin allergies. We're still working on that. I make all of his own food now. And he just finished a whole big plate of his food. And Rosemary said to get him off the rice and chicken and get him on his meat and vegetables. And as soon as we did that, he started gaining weight, and he's a force.
You know, so often, and this is a talk for another time regarding nutrition, so often the go-to fix-it kind of nutritional diet, they tell you, oh, boil some rice and Hamburg. We used to do that, right, for our dogs years ago. Just because it's food doesn't mean it's the right food for your dog. And so we want to spend a little time on that next week or whenever we do another pet health call. There's Finley. Anybody else want to give a testimony or ask a question about pet health regarding toxicity?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you.
I don't have it.
I wanted to ask you if the cell defender, I've been using that for Liberty, for pets. Is that what you're talking about?
You've been using the what for pets? Cell
The
defender?
Avini cell for pets, a cell defender. Is that the right one?
Yeah, Cell Defender for Pets has the same concentration in it as Cell Defender in the bottle.
Okay.
However, Cell Defender for Pets, Rick got a little fancy. He made it into a gel that is chicken barbecue flavor. And some animals like it and some animals don't. My dog does not. I really love the ease of our original Cell Defender. Just liquid drops. You can put it right in their food. You can lift their lips, squirt it in their mouth. we call it droppies, and we put it into the palm of our hand,
Mhm.
just a squirt in the palm of our hand, and we say droppies, and then Bridie will lick it right out of our hand. Tasteless. And I think more animals would object to having a flavor than to have something that does not have a flavor. So I personally love the Cell Defender in a bottle rather than the pets.
Yeah, because Liberty doesn't like I have it, so I stick it in her mouth. But I was wondering if it's the same as doing. So it's been a while since I used in the bottle because I started with Patria. Do you remember?
Yes, I do
Because
remember.
there
Patria.
wasn't any of this, so I don't remember what I gave her though. Now it's been a long time.
Can you tell us a little bit about Patria? I think that's an amazing story.
You know, a Rottweiler, she went down in March, and a friend knew Rosemary, and told me that she could help Patria because she couldn't keep anything down, and the vet had given me prednisone, and if she couldn't keep it down, it wasn't going to work. I would have lost her then. And so I called Rosemary, and she met me at I-5 so I could get the Cell Defender then. I think that's what it was called, wasn't it? Or zeolite. I think it was zeolite. And so every time Patria would vomit, she told me to give her a mount, and I squirted it in her mouth. And when she lived another 4 months, so we did lose her, but she didn't die a horrible death. That she would have with the vet treatments, and I never took her back. And so we got to walk and enjoy her, and until it was her day it was over.
Yeah.
So that was 4 months, and it was really, so I really have appreciated. That's how I got involved with zeolite. So, and I've used it, and it isn't an animal, but I've been using the eye and mind, and that must have zeolite in it too.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
all of a sudden, I've been on it since the 1st of April, and I'm now, this last week, I commented to you on Thursday last week that I'm actually able to see stuff moving that's cleared up the cataract. On April 1st, it was black in my eye.
Wow.
And it's clearing it up. And now this week, I'm actually able to see my arm moving, and so it definitely cleans things up. And my cataract, it was too thick, and they wouldn't remove it. So they blamed it on me. I didn't want it removed, which wasn't true. They didn't tell me, so I didn't really have any options. So anyway, I've been on it 3 months, 4 months now, and I won't ever see out of the eye, but I have light and movement out of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, boy, Patricia, thank you so much. I did go over to your house. I met Patria.
Yeah, you came over too. Yeah,
I did. When it's an emergency, I go. I go over.
yeah.
And yeah, she was an amazing queen. I felt like she was a queen.
She
Queen of,
was.
and
She was.
you were in danger of losing her within a day or two.
Yeah, she wouldn't have lived. The zeolite saved her life. So we had a long goodbye. We got to resume. She ate, and we walked, and the day that we called for her to be put down, she crawled up on my bed. So that's where she slept all the time. So that was
Yeah.
pretty sweet.
Beautiful.
So
Yeah, beautiful. Our animals, we love them. And hey, Bev, would you like to share an animal story with us? I know you have animal stories.
Mm. I'm just a little uh, well, I'm using Cell Defender, and I'm using mushrooms with Reggie. And yes, I totally believe in it, and that's what the confidence I had. And I actually had him to a holistic vet today for acupuncture because he had injured himself.
Mhm.
And one of the things they put him on is anti-inflammatories. Of course, we have our plus relief, so that's all he needs. And he was telling me about injections that he actually lost 2 cats from the usual injections that they give them. And they developed sarcoma at the site. Ah,
Oh, my goodness. Yeah,
So-
I've seen this before, Bev. And in fact, there was a brochure at my vet's office years ago. You know, they have a wall with all the brochures on there and you could read about stuff. And I think I mentioned this before, that in the brochure, it said, we're changing where we give the injections to cats. We're changing it from the shoulder to the hip because it's easier to amputate a hind leg than a front leg.
Wow.
That was their reason.
Oh, wow.
In other words, we're going to give the injections. We know that there's a high risk of developing sarcomas, problems at the injection site. But
Wow.
you know what? If that happens, we got you. We'll just take off the hind leg instead of the front leg. Do I sound facetious?
How awful.
And don't charge me for it since you caused it.
Yeah, it's pretty, yeah.
That's what that was interesting. Yeah.
And he admitted that. He talked about that. He
Hmm.
lost a couple of, did he have an awareness? You kind of
Yes,
hope they
he
have an
knew.
awareness.
Yes, he knew it was from the vaccine.
Wow.
Vaccine injections.
Look, those of us that have had animals for a long time and we vaccinate them, we take them home. Did we ever get a phone call? How's your cat doing? How's your dog doing?
Nope.
No, but we sure do now.
Do we?
Oh,
Do
I
we get
do.
that?
Yeah, I don't take them anymore though. I do debate about doing a rabies one because, you know, that's very serious, but I don't take them for distemper. I think the little cat that they are, do they need a dose of distemper every year? Are you kidding me?
No, in fact, I would like to suggest that you do a titer test. It's a blood test
Hmm.
to see if your animal is still carrying the antibodies in their blood. That's what they're doing with a
Yeah.
titer test. They're testing to see if they're still immune.
Yeah.
And we did that, by the way, with Gracie, our previous dog. We did that when we got her, when we adopted her at 11 months. She was up to date, maybe a little bit more than up to date on her vaccinations. And I never did any more after that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I always had a titer test. And throughout her whole life, for 13 years, she was immune
Wow.
with that titer test for proof. She
Mhm.
did not need any more. And my vet, being a very smart and wonderful man, said, would you like us to take you off the reminder list?
You know, in
I'm gonna
Clackamas
ask my
County,
vet that. I'm gonna ask my vet that.
you know what? In Clackamas
Yeah.
County, Rosemary, they won't accept teeter.
Not for rabies. No, they won't. No,
Nope.
I know.
It's really tragic. Yeah.
It's required by law.
Mhm.
It's
Well, no, in Clackamas County, they will not recognize the
Yeah.
teeter test.
It depends.
Exactly.
It
Hey,
depends.
so I'm going to
Yeah.
stop this recording, and if you want to hang out for a few extra minutes and talk without being recorded, let's do that. I am going to upload this to a channel, and I'll let you know the link for that. Thank you all for being here. I
Okay.
really appreciate